Hi, I'm Marshall. I'm the owner of Going Gear, and I'm here in our store in Smyrna, Georgia. This is the extended review of the Claris G30. All right, here we are with the Claris G30 in the packaging. So good information on there. 2,450 lumens on max output. This thing puts out some serious output thanks to the Cree MTG2 LED, powered by three 18650s, which are not included. But as always, you can get bundles with batteries and chargers from us on our site. 260 hours of runtime on the lowest output, which is 15 lumens, and then 220 meters of beam distance. So 2,450 lumens, 220 meters of beam distance. Those two numbers alone tell you this is going to be a pretty floody light. It's going to light up a nice wide area at once, which I personally really like. I don't have a lot of long distances. If you watched any of my videos, I kind of struggle to find anything that's past 100 yards or so. So I like lights like this. I like lighting up just my whole yard or, the whole house or something like that. I find them super useful for that. And if you want to see the full specs, I've actually started doing this in the past couple of videos. Here is the table from Claris. I'll leave this up here for a second or so. You can pause it and then return to the video. All right, let's open up the box and show you what's on the inside, if I can get into it without demolishing it. Not very good at that. Even though I've opened 5,000 of these over the years, I still managed to pretty much tear up all the packaging. All right, so here is the light. Let's take it out, set it to the side. Other stuff that you have in there, user manual. Claris has been doing a good job with their user manuals lately. Bunch of good information in there. You've got a lanyard, you've got a spare O-ring, and that's it for accessories. No holster, no pocket clip. We always get a question on pretty much every light. Can you use a pocket clip with this? No. It's kind of big. Don't put this in your pocket. Or I guess you could if you really wanted to, but no pocket clip. All right, shove that back in there, get it out of the way. Let's take a look at the light itself. So here is the light. Let me show you the front of that thing. Look how big that LED is. So let's actually grab, I've got an XT11 right here. Let's take a look at the LEDs in comparison. So there's an XT11 with a Cree XML2 LED down in there. There is your MTG2 LED. So just a huge difference in just the physical size of the LED itself. And plus the MTG2 naturally has kind of a neutral tint to it, which I also really like, in addition to it being really floody. So I really like this light. I like the kind of Coke can form factor. I'm a big fan of lights like this for around the house or in your vehicle or in a go bag or wherever you want, or to have a larger light. Not EDC size for sure, but other than that, it's a great light. So you have two switches on here. You have one on the side, you have one on the rear. They do pretty much the same thing, which is kind of cool. You don't have to worry about using one to turn it on and using one to switch mode. You can do that if you want to, but they both control pretty much everything with a couple exceptions. I'll show you better here when we go into the interface. On the reflector, you can see you've got a little bit of texturing on there, so some orange peel to help make it a really nice, smooth, even, clean beam. Let's open it up, show you the inside. Lots of threads on this guy. All right, so it has an integrated battery holder. Another thing I'm a really big fan of. There are a lot of lights on the market, especially some of the original lights, where they had a battery carrier that you actually had to pull out. That's another thing to lose, another thing to break. I really like it when the company's integrated into the flashlight itself. But there is the battery tube. You can see you've got holes for three 18650s. So we're going to stick three high-quality 18650s. We've got some Olight 3400 milliamp hour 18650s. Make sure you use high-quality ones. Make sure you use ones with protection so you don't have a flashlight blow up in your hands. All right, got the batteries in there. You've got these two prongs on the tail cap that align into the holes. So just line them up like that. And then, actually, let me take that back off. You can see that this spins independently of the tail cap. So once you line it up, the circuit board or whatever that thing is on the inside, all the contacts will spin independently, and you can get it to go on there. My hand-eye coordination is not functioning properly. I promise it's not that difficult. That was all me, not the light. All right. Thread. There we go. All right. So the operation of this light, you've got two switches. You've got one on the rear, you've got one on the side. Again, with a couple minor exceptions, they do the same thing. So press the switch, it turns the light on. Keep on pressing it. It'll cycle through your outputs. And then do a press and hold, and it'll turn the light off. Same thing on the side. Press it to turn the light on. Keep on pressing it. It'll cycle through your different outputs. Press and hold. It'll turn the light off. Now here's where you get the differences. On the side switch, press and hold from off. It'll go straight into the lowest output. On the rear switch, press and hold from off, and it'll go straight into the highest output. And you can see it's actually a momentary of the highest output, which is kind of nice. Sometimes you want to just do a quick scan and then release it and have it turn off. So you got momentary, the highest output. You've got constant on of the lowest output on the side switch. You have some flashing modes as well, so you get to those while the light is on. So you turn the light on, double click, and it'll go into strobe. One more time, double click, and it'll go into SOS. And then just tap the switch to go into your regular illumination modes. You can also do that from the rear switch. So you have it turned on, do the double click. Same thing. I don't know if it does it from off. Let's see. Hey, look at that. It does it from off too. So you can do it from on or off. Do the double click and you'll go into your flashing modes. There is also a lockout. So on the switches. So if you press and hold the switch for about 5 seconds, it's going to do a little bit of flashing. There we go. It does the flashing, and then you can see the switch is electronically locked out until you click it 3 times like I did. So that's how to get it out of the lockout. You just click it 3 times and it'll go back out of the lockout. Okay, so that is the interface and everything of the Klarus G30. Let me show you it again real quick. So on either switch, tap it, turns the light on. Keep on tapping. It'll cycle through your different outputs. Press and hold, and it'll go off. Double click for your flashing modes. And then while it's off, if you press and hold the side switch, it'll go straight into low. Press and hold the rear switch, and you get a momentary of the max output. All right, so some features and specifications that I don't really talk about in any video that I should talk about, even though pretty much every flashlight we sell has these features, are waterproofing, impact resistance, durability, things like that. I don't talk about it because I take for granted that people don't know that most modern, high-end, high-quality flashlights are going to meet all of this. But just in case you're not familiar with these kind of lights, they have IPX8 rating. So this particular one is IPX8, which means that it can be submerged for 2 meters for something like 30 minutes. I forget what the exact time is, but it can be submerged up to 2 meters, which basically means drop it in a puddle, you drop it in a creek or something like that, you're okay. Don't go diving with it. They're also impact rated. So impact rating is 1 meter, so they can handle a 1 meter drop. And then they also have type 3 hard anodizing on it. So type 3 hard anodizing, if you think about your typical anodized aluminum, you run a knife or you run a key or something like that across it, and it scratches really, really easily. Well, type 3 doesn't do that. You can see I've got a hardened steel zero tolerance here with a nice hard steel, and scraping it across one of your kind of lower end flashlights or your more typical anodized aluminum would have just scratched that up like crazy. Type 3 hard anodizing is super durable, so it's really scratch resistant, adds a nice layer of protection to the flashlight. The lens on there is tempered glass. It has an anti-reflective coating. You can break it. Yeah, you can break pretty much anything, but it takes a decent amount of force to break tempered glass, and you can see you've got that lip of aluminum that helps protect it from impact. So you've got to basically take a direct, sharp impact to the glass to break it, and it's going to take a decent amount of force. You also have a low battery indicator, so there on the side switch there in the center is an LED, and it'll let you know when the batteries are low, so that's a nice feature. So that's kind of some of the stuff that I don't really ever talk about in the videos, and I really should. I'm going to try to get better about that. I take it for granted, but I know a lot of people are not familiar with these kind of flashlights. They don't know the basic features that a lot of these have because they're used to things that don't have that. They don't have that quality. They don't have those features. So hold me to that. I'm going to try to stick to remembering to talk about that in all the videos, especially the extended reviews. Let me know if I don't. All right, let's take this light outside, and we'll show you how it does outside. All right, we're outside with that stout and powerful G30. Got the big 40 mag light that I always use as a control, since pretty much everybody knows what it can do. Let's try out the mag light first. The little tree right there is about 30 feet away. Dock house down there on the lake is 100 feet away. That's the mag light. Start out with max output on the G30. Go big or go home. 30 feet, 100 feet. Obviously lighting up both of those very, very well, and a whole lot around it as well. So the hotspot, if you can even call that a hotspot because everything is pretty intense, is huge on this thing. So really big hotspot, really nice transition to the spill, lighting up a whole lot at once. Let's actually zoom in so you can see what that looks like down there, how well everything is lit up. It's like daylight down there. Let me show you the lower outputs as well. We'll use the side switch, kind of cycle through those. Really good for up close kind of stuff on the low when you need the better battery life. And it actually makes it out. I don't know how well it shows up on the camera. The viewfinder looks like it's doing pretty well at the 30 feet, but my eyes, I can see actually out there pretty well. And then obviously you have the higher outputs when you need it. Whole lot of light coming out of this thing and very spread out, which is nice. I like that. I like being able to just flood everything in front of me. Every now and then it's nice to have some throw, but just because of the sheer output of this thing, you still have some throw. So normally with the high output lights that are super floody, you know, unless they're putting out a ton of lumens like this thing, you're not really getting any great distance. But this thing, because it is putting out so many lumens, you got some solid distance on it as well. So let's try it out at a longer distance and show you what it can do with a little bit more space. All right, got some more space to show you what the G30 can do. Let's go ahead and try it out. Tree right there is about 20 feet away. Got a couple targets set up out there. First one is at 50 yards, the second one is 100 yards. Tree line beyond is 130 yards. So the one on the right is the 50, one on the left is 100, and you can see the trees out there at 130 yards. Lights all that up super, super well. Huge, huge hotspot on this. Great spill, really bright spill. I really like the beam on this, and I really like the LED. MTG2 is probably one of my favorite LEDs just because of the color, because you get that huge floody beam, and I really like both of those. Kind of shine it around. Let me show you the other outputs. We'll cycle through so you can see what those look like. When you need the lower output, more up close kind of stuff so you don't blind yourself at up close ranges, you've got all those lower outputs that you can choose from. Really cool light. When they announced this one, I was kind of you know, hesitant, I guess is the best word for it, because I see a lot of lights. And you know, this one wasn't really all that impressive on paper, but when I got it and I started playing with it, I was really impressed. I like the interface, I like the dual switches, I love the beam, I love the output. I think they did a good job on this one, and the price is pretty good for a light this size and this kind of output and these features. Pretty attractive price on it. So there you go. That is the Klarus G30. If you like it, you can buy it from me at goinggear.com. Any questions or comments, you can reach me in the comments or any of my guys at goinggear.com. As always, get going and start something. Thanks for watching.